Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Evangelist Smith with the House of the Lost Sheep of Israel and the King James Bible University, straight out of Compton. And today's lesson is titled Declaration by Works, Part 3. With our actions and works of the flesh, we declare war and to be enemies against our Creator and Word sent for salvation. With a carnal mind, we cannot with a carnal mind we cannot obtain the wisdom and knowledge needed to overcome the obstacles, snares, and deception of this world. Our foundation must stand on the principles and teachings of the wisdom from above, not from below, that man teaches us, that profit us nothing, but that wisdom from above and nourishment from the rock of salvation, the anointed one of Israel, that led our forefathers out of captivity and renewed our mind through faith, and condemning the confused heart of Babylon. We must be washed by this word, cleansed and renewed, so that we can serve Jehovah in sincerity and truth, and not the ways that the world has taught us, because the ways that the world has taught us is getting us in trouble with our Creator, with our Maker, because it's contrary, it's fleshly, it's devilish. So let's see, in Hosea chapter 11, verse 1 and 2, when Israel was, or when the servant of Jehovah was a child, then I loved him. And child is on page 1492, and it's a way, life, faith, way of life are a familiar fruit, new fruit, familiar fruit. So when Israel, that Jehovah's servant, was a way, was a life, was a faith, so we was living in this way. We was desiring these ways of the Spirit, the faith, the way of life, new fruit. We was doing familiar works that was pleasing to Jehovah. Then I loved him, then I promised him, and called my son out of Egypt, out of that confusion, out of that bondage, out of the ways of flesh. Verse 2, as they called them, so they went from them. They sacrificed, they established covenant unto Balaam, and burned incense to graven images. So we see this is where the party began, and we started going contrary, away from the spirit of Jehovah, leaning to our own understanding, establishing covenants with idols, with vain imaginations. Amos 3:1 through 3. Hear this word that the Spirit of God hath spoken against you, O children of Israel. So children are fruits, workers. It's on the same page, 1492. So fruits, workers, offspring, followers, disciples, and works. But this shows us that we wasn't being servants because he is against you. Right here in Hosea 11:1, it says, Israel was a child, then I promised him. We was in grace. We was in good hands. But then, as they called them, so they went from them. They sacrificed unto Balaam and burnt incense to graven images. We got distracted. We marveled at the things of this world, and it took our eyes. It took our understanding away from Jehovah, away from that promise, away from that love that he had for us. So hear this word that the Spirit of God hath spoken against you, O children, O works of those that struggle with the Creator, Israel. Let's go to it. Israel. Where's that? Israel is on page 1542. Israel, Jehovah's servant, which we saw in Hosea 11:1. He promised his servants, but he is against and speak against those who struggle with Jehovah, those that contend, those who strive. So you've become an enemy, O children of Israel. The works that strive with Jehovah, the works that struggle with Jehovah, the works that contend with Jehovah against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, because he promised him, when Israel was a child, then I promised him and called my son out of Egypt. This is reiterating the same thing. You only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. Can two walk together except they be agreed? Jehovah doesn't agree with sacrifice unto anything besides him. And that's a sacrifice of spirit. That will, that desire should be established to keep that covenant with Jehovah. the same covenant our forefathers made in the wilderness. But we see is nothing new under the sun. We do the same thing that those that struggle and strive and contend against Jehovah, sacrificing unto these idols, burning incense to graven images. They do this every Sunday. They do this in these camps on their feast days. They do it all year round in the world of darkness, that world that is desolate, that is destroyed for that lack of knowledge, because they rather establish covenants with idols. So no, you can't walk together because you don't agree. You're not in the same covenant. You have established a covenant with something else. So let's go to Hosea chapter 7. 13 and 15. Woe unto them, for they have fled from me. That go right back to Hosea. What was that, 11? As they called them, so they went from them. Woe unto them, for they have fled from me. Destruction unto them, because they have transgressed against me. Though I have redeemed them, yet they have spoken lies against me. 15. Though I have bound and strengthened their arms, yet do they imagine mischief against me. You only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I'll punish you for all your iniquities. He can't walk together because we transgressed against him. Let's go to Jeremiah 11, 1 through 13. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Spirit of God, saying, Hear ye the words of this covenant, and speak unto the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and say thou unto them, Thus said the Spirit of God, Jehovah, thy guide of Israel, Cursed be that man that obeyeth not the words of this covenant. Destruction unto them, for they have fled from me. And say thou unto them, Thus says the Spirit of God, the guide of Israel, Cursed be that man that obeyeth not the words of this covenant, which I command your fathers in the day that I brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, from the iron furnace, saying, Obey my voice and do them. He loved us then. He promised us, according to all which I command you, so shall ye be my people, and I will be your guide, that I may perform the oath which I have sworn unto your fathers, to give them a land flowing with milk and honey, as it is this day. Then answered I and said, So be it, O Spirit of God. Then the Spirit of God said unto me, Proclaim all these words in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem, saying, Hear ye the words of this covenant, and do them. For I earnestly protested unto your fathers in the day that I brought them up out of the land of Egypt, even unto this day, rising early and protesting, saying, Obey my voice. As they called them, so they went from them. He's been calling us, but you go further and further away from that call because you love the things that are in this world. You think it's easy, but we're going to be in a world of hurt at the end of that road when it's a dead end and that road runs out and we crash and we fall to the temptations of this world because we wasn't guided by that light. We was driving in darkness, being wanderers. Anything that comes to our hearts that we desire, we run after it. We don't go and seek after wisdom from above. And this is why we in the problems that we have. For I earnestly protested unto your fathers in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt, even unto this day, rising early and protesting, saying, Obey my voice. Yet they obeyed not, nor inclined their ear, but walked everyone in the imagination of their evil heart. Therefore I will bring upon them all the words of this covenant, which I commanded them to do, but they did them not. And the Spirit of God said unto me, A conspiracy is found among the men of Judah, and among the inhabitants of Jerusalem. They are turned back to the iniquities of their forefathers, which refused to hear my words, and they went after other gods, idols, to serve them, which we love to do. We love to serve the idols, the gods of the other nations. The house of Israel and the house of Judah have broken my covenant, which I made with their fathers. We don't even know what that covenant is. All we know is a man's name, Jesus. And that's all we got to do is believe in him. Because they told us that. We never read it from out the book that was given to us for instruction. But we take man's word for it. But if a man's words is of the wisdom, is of Jehovah's word, they not going to receive it. They going to run from it. They going to go far from you. This is the ways of the world, contrary to the ways of Jehovah's servants. Therefore, thus says the Spirit of God, Behold, remember, I will bring evil upon them, which they shall not be able to escape. And we still ain't escaped it. Evil is upon us every day. Just go outside and see. And though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them. Then shall the cities of Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem go and cry unto the gods, the idols unto whom they offer incense, on those Sunday mornings, those Sunday afternoons. They go shouting and crying for Jesus, but they shall not save them at all in the time of their trouble. That's why you lean upon your own understanding and you do the things that you do, because there is no one to save you. Those idols are imaginations of your own vain thoughts. So this is why we go out and rob and steal and do the things that destroys us, that'll get us in worse trouble than we was before we started. Get us deeper into that pit. We must be steadfast and be patient and wait for that word of guidance from Jehovah and not lean upon our own understanding, being hasty and quick to operate in our own our fleshly desires. We must keep that faith. For verse 13, for according to the number of thy cities were thy gods, were thy idols, O Judah, and according to the number of the streets of Jerusalem have you set up altars to the shameful thing. And you come to Compton, you can see this. Every street is worshipped by men, and that's what you call gangbanging. Every street is held to their hearts. They'll die for that street. They'll die for that city. That's their pride. That's what they desire. That's their whole motivation. When you learn, when you go outside, you learn these things from men. This is all you see because we're destroyed. That evil is upon us. Ain't nobody trying to find God's wisdom. They despise it. They don't think it's real. They don't think it could save them. But they believe these streets and these cities can save them by making money or doing whatever they got to do, leaning to their own understanding, not having that faith. So let's go to Obadiah chapter 1, verse 2 through 4. Behold, remember, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. And I was deceived because I was in those street activities, being prideful for a city that didn't even belong to me, to a street that didn't even belong to me. Street called Caldwell. Not understanding that Caldwell is a Caldwell 1.0. Those are trees. So I'm idolizing those trees just like Eve did. Idolize that tree with that snake on it, that evil on it. The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee. Wasn't Eve deceived? Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high. We was high-minded, haughty. Hub City. That's all we learned. That said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, Thence will I bring thee down, said the Spirit of God. Oh, and he did. He brought me all the way down. I moved all the way to San Bernardino and was depressed because I couldn't maneuver the way I maneuvered in Compton. I couldn't function the same way. It wasn't the same environment. But he put me in that desert, San Bernardino, Victorville. He put me out there so he could show me. I was desolate, just like those barren places. Thence will I bring thee down, said the Spirit of God. If these came to thee, I'm sorry. Let's go to Sirach, chapter 10. Let's go deeper and seeing the things that we have done against Jehovah and the consequences, the recompenses that we have to endure being his children. Sirach, chapter 10. But the thing is, will you learn from these things and change your ways? That's the whole thing. He's not doing this to destroy us. He's doing it because he loves us. Sirach 10, 14 through 17 and 19. The Creator hath cast down the thrones of proud princes, and set up the meek in their stead. The Creator hath plucked up the roots of the proud nations, and planted the lowly in their place. So which side will you choose? Will you be prideful, or will you be that meek? 16. The Creator overthrew countries of the heathen. And this is why we not in the country that we were supposed to be in, because we became heathens. And he overthrew us and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth. Scattered like dust in the wind. 17. He took some of them away and destroyed them, and have made their memorial to cease from the earth. We see those cemeteries full of people that lost their lives from street activities, from drugs, from the vain things of this world that destroy you because it's not part of his understanding, it's not part of his knowledge, it's not part of his wisdom, it's not part of his design of how we were supposed to live through him. Verse 18. Pride was not made for men, nor furious anger for them that are born of a woman. They that fear the Creator are a sure seed, and they that love him promise him an honorable plant. They that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed. They that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 11 through 12. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Spirit of God alone shall be exalted in that day. For the day of the Spirit of God of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. These are the warnings He's sending through His messengers so that we can get right. But we know. But we know. Verse 9 and 6. 9, 6, and 8. Not as though the word of Jehovah have taken an effect, for they are not all Israel, His servants, which are of Israel. Because, verse 8, that is, they which are the children of the flesh, those that struggle, those that strive, those that contend with Jehovah, these are not the children of God, children of wisdom, that children of light, but the children of the promise, those that He loved when Israel was a child, are counted for the seed. That's a beautiful thing when you can put that together and see how much love He has for us, how much mercy and grace He has given us, and how much work we must put in to get right back with Him. But we know it's not going to take effect on everybody, because they don't want to hearken. Psalms 94 verse 7, the proof is in the pudding. 7 through 12 and 14 through 16. The children of the flesh are not of the seed, because yet they say, the Spirit of God shall not see, neither shall the guide of Jacob regard it. Understand, ye brutish among the people, and ye fools, when will you be wise? He that planteth the ear, shall he not hear? He that formed the eye, shall he not see? He that chasteth the heathen, shall not he correct? He that teacheth man knowledge, shall he not know? Shall not he know? The Lord knoweth the thoughts of men, that they are vanity. That's why we got to circumcise our hearts, our minds, and destroy the things that are vain, that flesh, because they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of Jehovah. They can't be corrected. They can't be taught knowledge, because their heart's desire is not towards that word of Jehovah. So they take no thought. But the Spirit of God know the thoughts of men, that they are vanity, because they don't take no thought. Blessed, wisdom and knowledge is given, is the man whom thou chasten, because you're going to get that correction. O Spirit of God, and teaches him out of thy law. Let me see. Let's go to Psalms 19:7. The law of the Spirit of God is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Spirit of God is sure, making wise the simple. Verse 8, the statutes of the Spirit of God are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandments of the Spirit of God is pure, enlightening the eyes. So blessed is the man whom thou chasten, O Spirit of God, and teaches him out of thy law. So when you get taught out of that law, it's going to convert that soul so that you can become pleasing. You can start growing in the Spirit. 14 through 16. For the Spirit of God, Jehovah will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. That's why you must convert that soul, because if not, you're a heathen. Just like those in the world full of darkness. But judgment shall return unto righteousness, but teachings and doctrines shall return unto righteousness, and all the upright in heart shall follow it. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? So this basically telling you, will you stand up against yourself? Because we don't. So let's go to Ephesians 6 and 12. Let's start at 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Creator and in the power of his might. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? This is how we do it. Put on the whole armor of Jehovah, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Verse 13, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Jehovah, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girded about with truth. And we know that truth is that law. Having on the breastplate of righteousness. Psalms 119 and 142. Just to prove, and just in case somebody's new over here. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. So stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, with that law, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, which is that everlasting spirit, his commandments, which last for generation to generation. We should dwell therein. Let's go to Proverbs. And this is why we stick to nothing but scripture. So we prove all things, because we don't want to be found liars. Because these aren't my words, and this isn't my doctrine. I've just come to serve and to give what was given to me. Every way, Proverbs 21, 2 through 3 and 8. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, his own understanding. But the Spirit of God pondereth the hearts. Verse 3, to do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Spirit of God than sacrifice. But we swear by sacrifice that we doing it right, by sacrificing, slaughtering an animal. These camps, during their feast days, they have a whole lamb on the barbecue grill. But then they'll separate it piece by piece, dividing it up to each member, breaking bones and doing things that aren't to be, using vain imaginations and not diligently studying to see that we supposed to be worshiping in spirit and in truth. To do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Spirit of God than sacrifice. So let's start at 19. John chapter 4 verse 19. The woman said unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, they sacrificing, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. 21. Salvation saith unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. Because to do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Spirit of God than sacrifice. Nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. Ye worship ye know not what, because he isn't accepting those things. He isn't requiring those things. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshippers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship him. 24. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. That justice and judgment So verse 8, the way of a man is forward and strange, but as for the pure, his work is right. Let's go to let's go to Hebrews 10 and 5. To understand that sacrifice isn't what he wants. He's not requiring that. Ten and 1. For the law, having a shadow of good things to come and not the very image of the things, can never with those sacrifices which they offer year by year continually make the comers thereunto perfect. But we know that law, that word of wisdom, is good on converting the soul. Verse 4, for it is not possible that the blood of bulls and goats should take away sins. Verse 5, wherefore when he cometh into the world, he said, sacrifice and offering thou wouldest not, but a body hast thou prepared me. In burnt offerings and sacrifices for sin thou hast had no pleasure. But this is what he wants. Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book, it is written of me, to do thy will, O God. Job 34, 2 through 4, and 11 and 21. Hear my words, O ye wise men, and give ear unto me, ye that have knowledge. For the ear trieth words, as the mouth taste of meat. Let us choose to us teachings and doctrines. Let us know among ourselves what is good. 11 and 21. For the work of a man shall he render unto him, and cause every man to find according to his ways. That's why we're supposed to come in the volume of the book, to do thy will. For the work of a man shall he render unto him, and cause every man to find according to his ways. 21. For his eyes, his understanding are upon the ways of men, and he seeth all his goings. 2 Ezra chapter 7, 20 through 24. For there be many that perish in this life because they despise the law, that truth of Jehovah that is set before them in the presence of them. For Jehovah hath given straight commandment to such as came, what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should do, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him, and imagined vain things, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that he is not, and knew not his ways. But his law have they despised, and denied his covenants. In his statutes have they not been faithful, and have not performed his works. Jeremiah 3:13 through 15. Only acknowledge thine iniquity, that thou hast transgressed against the Spirit of God thy God, and hast scattered thy ways to the strangers under every green tree, and ye have not obeyed my voice, said the Spirit of God. Turn, O backsliding children, said the Spirit of God, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion, and I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 13. Only acknowledge thine iniquity, that thou hast transgressed against the Spirit of God thy God, and hast scattered thy ways to the strangers under every green tree, and ye have not obeyed my voice, said the Spirit of God. Second Esdras 14. So we can't walk around like we haven't transgressed, we haven't done anything to put ourselves in this captivity, in this mind state of desolation and destruction. You can't do it because it's written right here against us in this book that we have. But it's also given us a way out, a way to escape, if thou acknowledge thine iniquity. But we know all Israel is not of Israel, so they're not going to put that word into effect. They're not going to take heed to that warning. Second Esdras chapter 14, 13 through 17, 20 through 22, 28 through 35. Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature, and set aside and set aside and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. 20 through 22. Behold, remember the Creator. I remember the Creator. I will go as thou hast commanded me. Remember, Creator, I will go as thou hast commanded me, and reprove the people which are present. But they that shall be born afterward, who shall admonish them? Thus the world is set in darkness, and they that dwell therein are without light. For thy law is burnt. Therefore no man knoweth the things that are done of thee, or the work that shall begin. And this right here is giving us an understanding. For thy law is burnt, is living. So we must live through that law, that truth. If not, we won't understand it. We won't get that the discernment. We won't have that wisdom. to know the things that are done of thee, or the work that shall begin. We won't understand those declarations by works. 22. But if I have found grace before thee, send the Holy Ghost that separated body into me, and I shall write all that hath been done in the world since the beginning. So we must conform and submit and surrender to what we know is good for us. That Holy Spirit, that separated body that produces that wisdom within us, which were written in thy law, that men may find thy path, and that they which live in the latter days may live. This book wasn't written just to be written. It was written for our instructions. 28 through 35. Hear these words, O Israel. Our fathers at the beginning were strangers in Egypt, from whence they were delivered, and received the law of life, which they kept not, which ye also have transgressed after them. Then was the land, even the land of Sion, parted among you by lot. But your fathers and ye yourselves have done unrighteousness, and have not kept the ways which the highest commanded you. And for as much as he is a righteous teacher, he took from you in time the thing that he had given you, that wisdom and knowledge, understanding of who we are and what we are required to do and be. And now are ye here, and your brethren among you. Therefore, if so be that ye will subdue your own understanding. And that's a big key. Therefore, if so be that ye will subdue your own understanding. You won't lean into your own understanding. You'll circumcise that mind, that heart, and reform your heart. Ye shall be kept alive, and after death ye shall obtain mercy. For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again, and then shall the ways of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared. And this is the end of that teaching. I hope we got some understanding and some wisdom, that blessing from above. And this is Evangelist Smith out of the House of the Lost Sheep of Israel, straight out of Compton, and King James Bible University. And we are not affiliated with any camp groups, any Christian theology, affiliated or associated, nor brethren with anyone that teach contrary to the precepts written in Scripture in the 1611 King James Bible. This platform is separated from all Bible camp Pharisee groups that falsely claim the heritage of Israel and teach the One West doctrine, invented by man's knowledge and vain opinions. We also despise, refuse, and rebuke the faith of any theological Christian doctrines that are taught in seminary schools or ordained by men, and their methods of learning, hermeneutics, exegesis.
The river run deep and it now go dry. The light on the water make my spirit fly. The stars them a dance, the moon a testify. Journey long, but me not stop try. The light on the river guide my soul. I feel keep me heart clean, make the story unfold. The current strong, but me still old. But Jah by my side, my spirit bold. Them say the mountain high, but me climb with care. Me feel the breeze just whispering in the air. Them think me weak, but me strong like a spear. Me walk with love, me not live in a fear. Jah light on the river, guide my soul. I feel keep me heart clean, make the story unfold. The current strong, but me still hold. With Jah by my side, the spirit bold. Me city wicked, them a plan for deceive, but Jah light shine bright, make me believe. The roots them strong like the old fig tree. Me hold tight on Jah, my spirit set free. The water calm, but the depth them wide. Me sail with Jah, make him be my guide. Me nah go straight, me nah go high. The truth them flow like the river tide.